everybody, and welcome along to the Estadio Municipal de Albufeira, where Sunderland and Rangers step up their preparations ahead of the new season in the searing heat of the Algarve. Both clubs have been enjoying the top-class facilities in Portugal, and now refreshed and recuperated from last season's exploits, they look to put in the work now to hit the ground running when their respective league campaigns kick off in 3 weeks' time. Well, as you can see,
49 days since we lifted the Scottish Cup.
Arrived in their numbers, taking some time out from the summer holidays. Stephen, I'm sure this is always a part of the season that you look forward to get things back up and running again.
After a week of conditioning work under the Portuguese sunshine, it's the first of a series of pre-season games of newly promoted Sunderland.
But ideally, players just want to play football games. You know, this is when it starts to become a little more realistic. The season's upon us.
And a few big hitters still to return. But focusing on the starting 11,
in-house games.
So James Tavernier, Colak, Goldson,
get a touch of the ball, get a run around. There's a decent atmosphere, a decent crowd.
Scott Arfield, John Lundstrom, Stephen Davis in midfield.
For both
Scott Wright and Antonio Colak
particularly wanting to see from both sides. We'll get to the teams in a few minutes, but obviously new arrivals coming in, obviously the old faces, the familiar faces as well.
Yeah, particularly for Rangers, it's all about
30 degrees at the moment in Portugal. I think we'll see drinks breaks and we'll see the bench probably deployed throughout the 90 minutes.
I think so, yeah. I think it's just to get miles on the clock tonight. Start of a new season again, a great start now. I think there's a great affinity between the two clubs. You see how many players have played for Rangers and Sunderland, so it'll be a great test, and I'm looking forward to it again.
You had a good summer, Jack?
Very good.
That's all in the back.
Bit overindulgent, Tommy, but a very good summer, and again, it just makes your appetite. Looking forward to the football coming up. Some great games. Starts tonight, and then we'll get the two London boys coming to Glasgow. But again, a great start, and obviously a great set in Albufeira. Hopefully a good game tonight. Lovely. It reminds me of the old 86, 87. We had teams sort of pixels on the top.
Deep into
any light blue top's a great top
to get
as long as the players can fill it.
3-4 weeks of recuperation and rest
tonight for our
fresh in
audio
the mind as well as the legs.
That 86-87
Giovanni van Bronckhorst would rather have had some of them, obviously international players having more of a rest. However, the reality is you had to play international football, but certainly, like James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, they had plenty of rest. Scott Arfield, he'll be desperate for the season to get underway.
Illness with real courage, so brave.
Tavernier takes up his usual place at the front of the Rangers team to lead them out. Skipper once again. Both sides kicked the ball in anger with momentous occasions at their respective national stadiums. Sunderland triumphed in the playoff final at Wembley to return to the Championship after 4 years in League One. Rangers, meanwhile, lifted the Scottish Cup at Hampden Park for the first time since 2009, and that came just 3 days after the heartbreak of the Europa League final.
You didn't think it was going to make the game then,
where they lost
out that goalkeeping top on and turned into Superman.
With the dodgy knees and all that.
And everything, honestly. He's what you wouldn't think has been a football player, the way he ran out
over Sunderland's
or hobbled out sometimes, but
Ballard from
sticking between the goalposts, and he was unstoppable.
His first outing at centre half, and it is a young team, and Corey Evans provides plenty of experience.
But the memories are always there.
Played against Rangers during his time in Glasgow with Celtic.
One thing about
current Scotland international Ross Stewart will look to make the step up to the Championship this season after 26 goals in the last campaign.
He grew up now.
The Jacko's
team is Man United as he grew up. His father ingrained in him. He was a Rangers fan, and the goal, he just loved it. He worked his way through Oldham, got to Hibs, but his main aim was to try and get to Rangers. He got it.
To clear up and secure.
At one point, he didn't think he was going to get there. Tommy McGregor. He said he'd go to Liverpool, and David made the first contact. But Waller put his work, kept his word. When the goalie arrived, after a month, I didn't think he'd be surviving.
He didn't finish that.
But he
just the character on, and everybody knew the quality he had. After that first month, now what a goalkeeper, and as rightly said,
the two managers in Alex Neil and Giovanni van Bronckhorst, who are able to put their stamp on their teams, having both joined during the campaign last season.
but it's a new kit.
The first pre-season and summer window
campaign of last season
to bolster the squad for the former Hamilton, Norwich, Preston boss.
Championship.
One defeat in 18 timed the run for the playoffs perfectly. Well, Rangers' European run came at the expense of their league title
progress through the Wembley playoff, the 2-0 victory against Wickham. But Alec Neil, since February taking the job,
Sunderland
18 games, won 10, drew 7 and lost only 1.
What a campaign back in the championship.
Sometimes you think, but well, our team finishes third or fourth with a higher point tally, but most of the time
Scottish
teams that finish at the bottom actually qualify to get promotion.
And
he's had a good start. And the big boy Greg Stewart, I met a boy from Sunderland on holiday, and I was winding up saying he was signing for Rangers, and he said you can take any Sunderland player as long as you don't take him. And he's what a job he's done for Sunderland. But what a great job, Alex Neil. But he had a great pedigree. What he done at Norwich prior to obviously with Hampden, and then down at Norwich, lost his way a wee bit.
That Rangers team and plenty of goals
stepped
in it too.
At Sunderland and done a great job and got them promoted. They're a sleeping giant down there in terms of the fan base.
20-goal tally for a season from right back.
That's a strong looking Rangers side. John McLaughlin in goal. Back four of Tavernier, Goldson, Katic and Barisic.
Corey Evans.
Infield of Lundstrom, Davis, Arfield,
skipper
Colak
for Sunderland.
And Kent. So we have 3
younger brother,
Croatian
of course, of Johnny.
in the starting 11 to 19.
Yeah, it seems like a country that's standing in good stead.
Absolutely. There's a cast of thousands on the bench, incidentally. 2 goalkeepers, Ron McCrory, Kieran Wright. Calvin Bassey's there, Jack Simpson, Glenn
great
Kamara,
outing as well for the supporters who
picked up an injury
have managed to make their way to Albufeira.
Patterson goal, a back four of Hume
and well, some very sad news this week.
Chirkin and
there will be a minute's silence after the tragic loss of Andy Gorham.
Evans and Neil Holding, then it's Roberts, Templeton, Pritchard and Ross Stewart, the former Ross County man, will lead the line. Back to the Rangers bench. Good to see some youngsters coming through.
The goalie, he remains one of the greatest goalkeepers Britain has ever produced. He represented Rangers 260 times over a 7-year trophy-laden era. He died at the age of 58. Thank you.
Fly high, the goal. The greatest accolade a professional could ever be given is to be known globally just by the job he did, the goal. Back to the Rangers bench. I mentioned Stephen Kelly, Charlie McCann, Leon King, Cole McKinnon, Adam Devine and Robbie Ewer, all being recognised for their efforts at the academy. Also there is Fashion Junior, looking for some game time, and Glenn Middleton, having come back from his loan spell at St Johnstone. The next referee is a local
Andy
man,
Gorham, who's heroics for Rangers amongst his other clubs, and the Scotland national team will be remembered forever.
Which is home to the local side, who go by the name of Immortal DC.
Nice wee setting, bit of sun in your bag. An ideal opportunity just to get miles on the clock, and I'm looking forward to
starts again, and there's Rangers
being interesting position, good goal scorer, and hopefully settles in very quickly.
From PAOK in Greece,
the heart of the defence, another Croat, Nico
will
Katic,
recognise him
after
the 2 goals he scored while on loan at Malmo last season, and that put an end to their Champions League dreams in that campaign. Albeit
March
that
20, a match against Ross County.
They had
I think the manager been an ideal opportunity.
Quite a run in the Europa League.
Tommy now the games to have a look at him. He's been at Hajduk for a season loan.
New centre forward to
by all reports done very well.
And
again another man now he had a serious knee injury, but he'll be wanting to show the manager what he can do. Tonight's a perfect a perfect chance for him, perfect platform to go and show the manager.
It'll be interesting to see in these conditions, Roy, what kind of tempo there is to the game.
And think,
I'm sure both sides aren't used to playing in the humidity.
Didn't see football for about 4 weeks.
They didn't. No, for 10 days. And
wonder will be more of a passive game, possession-based for both teams.
At the end of the day,
both sides go after each other.
What you want 20 pre-season is what you get out of it.
Connor Goldson
you have to do the hard work, and it stands you good stead. Rangers' fitness levels last year were incredible in terms of the amount of games they played, and that was all down to their pre-season. And now the pre-season is so essential for the modern day football player, and the amount of football they play
now.
He's
29 years of age, and he's probably in his prime as a central defender. Over the next 2 or 3 years, should be the best
in that short window. I said 49 days
since the game.
Game,
and you only have to think of the money it would have cost to replace him. Potentially 8 figures, £10 million plus. I don't mean just for a transfer fee.
James Tavernier was in Dubai, I think, on holiday.
That goes with it. So I think he's a major boost.
His first weekend holiday, and he was doing running in some gym work. He just keeps himself ticking over. And it's a perfect example of James not missing. I don't think he misses a training session. He very rarely misses a game unless he gets rested. And it just shows that he prides himself on his fitness. Hence the reason Steve Davis is still playing at the age he is, because he prides himself on his fitness.
Season.
Rangers just trying to probe and look for an opening. Pressure coming from Sunderland. The long early ball from Goldson spins into the path there of Lundstrom, who tries to feed it forward. Interesting, so far we've noticed that Colak is willing to come short and going beyond them. An opportunity is Scott Arfield. So he is perhaps a different type of striker than that's been available for Giovanni van Bronckhorst.
Hasn't really the opportunity.
You've had Alfredo through the middle. It's a big strong player, I think. Colak.
He's brought John Souttar in. Philip Hollander's there as well. Jack Simpson, Leon King. They're certainly not lacking central defenders, and Nikola Katic will want to be one of the ones the manager looks at.
Goldson pinged that one, and it's straight into an opposition player.
There's always that tendency in early in pre-season, you think you can do what you've always done. It takes you a few games to get up to speed, just to find your feet.
Now here goes Antonio Colak. He's got an impressive physical presence, and wins a corner for his side. He certainly offers Rangers something different up top.
He does. I think he gives him the option, Rory, to throw the ball in from deep, from cross balls if you have to. Rangers struggled at times last year to break down packed defences, didn't really have a lot of variety, and certainly Colak brings that.
Tavernier delivers deep towards Connor Goldson, who felt he was being pulled, but Sunderland have the ball back, and the long one up towards Patrick Roberts. He was hoping to chase, but it's with John McLaughlin. Of course, Allan McGregor signing his new deal over the summer after it looked like he could have been heading for retirement. At Rangers to get another year out of him. That's neatly done. And Sunderland can threaten for the first time here. It's knocked away by John Lundstrom.
Yeah, it's good play by Alec Pritchard. He's been around the game a long time. Alex Pritchard, tricky, can play off the left, can play in the number 10 role. Certainly wants to get at players and get them behind. And so one thing Alec Neil likes to build his team around exciting players. He wants his team to go and attack. He's not a defensive coach. You only have to look at the likes of Patrick Roberts on the other side of the pitch also.
Pritchard. On to Roberts, and there's another neat attack coming from Sunderland. Hume hoping to get his cross in, instead it comes back to Roberts, and the attack does break down. It will be a Rangers throw.
And you look at the Rangers side, quite experienced, isn't it, with John McLaughlin in goal, but James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, John Lundstrom, Scott Arfield, Stephen Davis, Colak as well, whereas Sunderland quite young. Try Hume there come through the ranks at Linfield back in Northern Ireland, of course now managed by David Healy, so David certainly holds him in high regard, and of course David had a spell at Ibrox and at Sunderland.
Stewart Now Hume with the delivery. Was a good one. And it was Tavernier who watched it all the way. Katic can start the clearance up to Colak.
He uses his body really well, doesn't he, Antonio Colak? Always looking for defenders, feeling for defenders, which is great as a midfield player, centre-half, because you can drop the ball into him and you know it's going to stick. Midfield players can then go beyond them, wide men can come and link up. So even though he's only had a few early touches, the Rangers players will be delighted to see what he's got in his locker.
He gave Rangers an absolute nightmare at Ibrox around about this time last season with exactly that, because Malmo had gone down to 10 men and it didn't seem to matter with the presence that he provided up top.
When you think of Rangers playing in the Scottish Premiership, in particular when they dominate so much of the ball, if Tavernier and Bassey are the two fullbacks, they probably get themselves 10, 12 crosses a game into the box row minimum, and that's where you need the likes of Colak, that physical presence. If he doesn't win the header, he attracts players to him, which means other players can get space and potentially get goals. So I think it's a smart acquisition by Giovanni van Bronckhorst. And of course Ross Stewart, who's playing here, he was another name linked, wasn't he, over the summer with Rangers? There was £4 or £5 million fee, which is an awful lot for a League One player in England. However, if he has a good season in the Championship, he may well move on. He only has 1 year left in his contract, hasn't signed a new one as yet, but no doubt Alec Neil and the club will be desperate to get him tied down.
Well, there's been talk of that, as you mentioned, the Rangers speculation, but perhaps with the signing of Colak and more recently Tom Lawrence, that may have put those rumours to bed. And I'm sure Alex Neil will be looking to start the conversation with his front man, Ryan Kent, and his path to goal closed off. And there's space to drive into as Stephen Davis looks to come across. It's Stewart who knocks it back to Robertson. What a save it was from John McLaughlin, diving at full stretch.
It's a nice move by Sunderland, I have to say. I think it was Dan Neil that carried the ball forward. Ross Stewart showed really well as a centre forward, and Patrick Roberts, you always know he's desperate to get it onto his left foot. He just opens the goal up for himself. Smart save, comfortable save in the end by John McLaughlin, but good play by Sunderland.
So Alex Pritchard will take the corner. Pritchard's delivery, it's Katic who was fouled in the process that was able to pick up the free kick for Rangers.
It's the one thing Nick at the Katic likes. He wants to go and head the ball. You know, he's aggressive in the air. He's got a real good physical presence about him. Certainly has a foul. He just wrestles his way.
Scott Arfield onto James Tavernier, and Scott Wright will try to chase that one down. It was knocked back with confidence, you could say, from O'Nien.
John Lundstrom always dropping into that back three. Sometimes you wonder, is it a 3, is it a 4? Because he's more than happy to drop in between Connor Goldson and Nicola Katic, start the play, try and drag players towards him and create space for others.
It was very much a feature of their Europa League run. There's that flexibility that John Lundstrom allows them, and actually something that Alex Neil, maybe through force of the squad that he received,
team.
Yeah, 6 goals last season for Scott Wright, his best ever in one season, and doesn't turn 25 until next month, so if he stays injury free he'll be wanting to make that wide right spot his own. Tavernier tries to secrete it in behind to the movement of Colak, but effectively outnumbered.
I think they're given a freedom, that they're very interactive in terms of they don't stick to one position in front three, and they can interchange. And as I said, what he showed in the cup final, I think that's what the Rangers were waiting for. And again, they're great turn of pace.
Wonderful take, and just taking out the play. The challenge came from Dennis Serkin.
It's been quite lively for a friendly. I mean, there's been a few tackles in, and that's ideal for the manager. This is the sort of preparation game you need, rather than just pass. And
is it my imagination, or is Scott Wright filled out a little bit?
I think there's a few of them. I was looking at the Polish boy. It came.
Yeah.
And he looks as though he looks as though he's been working away in his fitness levels, and I think now Scott's went away and what they need to work on, and he's actually filled out as a lot of players. That's ideal for the manager. This is the sort of preparation training you need. Again, he's another pass, and who's went away and worked on all his fitness, because you have to be. You have to use him. A really fit Polish boy playing Gio's team, but the amount of games. So he wants. He's been working away in his fitness levels, and you have to maintain that level of fitness to away all season. What they need to work on, and
James
actually filled out as
played just short of 13 minutes in Portugal. No goals to report. Sunderland versus Rangers. Of course, Sunderland was the club of choice of my own first footballing hero.
I just want to play football.
He's 6 goals.
You look at the list. I was looking at the list before we came in here now. Coiste, Defoe, Mr. Baxter, Terry Butcher, Derek Ferguson, Alec Ray.
Yeah, there's always been strong links between the clubs. And of course the stadiums. The old Roker Park was almost a mirror image of Ibrox. With the Archibald Leach frontage to their stand.
Alex Neil
Sunderland in the traditional Roberts, looking to create something here, closed down by Tavernier, gets support from Daniel Neal. Neal again tracked by Arfield, clips it in, just overcooked, overhit, and over everyone. And I'm not wasting any time. They've got the multi-ball system in use. In these conditions, you would have thought you might win a wee blow.
Yeah, well, I think the manager as it's down to the managers to request. I think they'll just want to keep the tempo. I said these games now, albeit now, I'm not saying the result's not important, but it's about getting miles in the legs and getting now game time to make sure you're ready for the first game of the season. And the size of the squad, you look at the size of both teams, the American football team in terms of replacements.
Katic tries to thread it in for Kent. It's cut off, but he makes amends for having conceded possession. I think the sweat-stained shirt of Nico Katic just tells you how involved he's been, and also brings confirmation of the temperatures at the moment in Albufeira. Clipped in by Lundstrom in search of Arfield, who again is trying to go beyond the main striker. Is knocked away by Dan Ballard, who's just signed from Arsenal. 3-year contract. Millwall last season, Ballard.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good acquisitions, Alec. Now I think now certainly the way they went, the board are back to him as
terrific again from Scott Wright. It's still Scott Wright. This could be something special.
James Tavernier
he doesn't want to know. We talked about his confidence, sky high, the way he was willing to just take players on there.
If he'd have scored there, that might have been goal of the season already in a pre-season friendly. We've always known he had great pace, but now I think when he first came, he'll be honest with himself, he didn't
come short.
But it wasn't until he really clicked in, and I think he just started believing himself. I think the new manager
knocked away by John
belief, and again, what a change of gear, goodbye 3 or 4
players. Good play by Alec Pritchard. He's been around the game a long time. Alex Pritchard, tricky, can play on the left, can play the number 10 role. He certainly wants to get at players and get them behind.
Sure that Ross Stewart can't get
one thing
involved.
Alec Neil likes to build his team around exciting players. He wants his team to go and attack. He's not a defensive coach.
July 18th to
you only have to look at the likes of Patrick Roberts on the other side of the pitch also.
90 appearances for them. Bounces awkwardly. Davis has some work to do. Pritchard again cutting in that left foot from the right. Thinks about it again, takes a big deflection. and Sunderland get the corner. It comes back off the shoulder.
There's another neat attack coming.
Just a wee bit overplay there, playing in the wrong
Sunderland.
areas. And as I said now, so early on your first game.
Hume hoping to get his cross in. Instead, it comes back to Roberts, and the attack does break down. It will be a Rangers throw.
And you look at the Rangers side, quite experienced, isn't it, with John McLaughlin in goal, but James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, John Lundstrom, Scott Arfield, Stephen Davis, Colak as well, whereas Sunderland quite young. Try Hume there come through the ranks at Linfield back in Northern Ireland, of course now managed by David Haley, so David certainly holds him in high regard, and of course David had a spell at Ibrox and at Sunderland.
Stewart. Now Hume with the delivery. Was a good one. And it was Tavernier who watched it all the way. Katic can start the clearance up to Colak.
Happy days.
He uses his body really well, doesn't he? Antonio Colak, always looking for defenders, feeling for defenders, which is great as a midfield player, centre half, because you can drop the ball into him and you know it's going to stick. Midfield players can then go beyond them, wide men can come and link up. So even though he's only had a few early touches, the Rangers players will be delighted to see what he's got in his locker.
He gave Rangers an absolute nightmare at Ibrox around about this time last season with exactly that, because Malmo had gone down to 10 men and it didn't seem to matter with the presence that he provided up top.
When you think of Rangers playing in the Scottish Premiership in particular, when they dominate so much of the ball, if Tavernier and Bassey are the two fullbacks, they probably get themselves 10-12 crosses a game into the box row minimum, and that's where you need the likes of Colak, that physical presence. If he doesn't win the header, he attracts players to him, which means other players can get space and potentially get goals. So I think it's a smart acquisition by Giovanni van Bronckhorst. And of course Ross Stewart, who's playing here, he was another name linked, wasn't he, over the summer with Rangers. There was £4 or £5 million fee, which is an awful lot for a League One player in England. However, if he has a good season in the Championship, he may well move on. He only has 1 year left in his contract, hasn't signed a new one as yet, but
opportunity, and what a goal! And it's Correa! No
Well, if we had a sense of timing, it can only get better. Rangers find themselves behind to Sunderland in the Albufeira Stadium. Sincere apologies that all broadcasters' link was lost from Portugal, and with 28 minutes on the clock, it's Sunderland who break the deadlock. When you look at the number of blue shirts protecting the goalkeeper here, Rangers make heavy weather of it, and it's just popped into the net. We should have done better, Ian. There's no other way to describe that.
Like Jones came and get caught in traffic. Now he's been came for a cross. I don't think he had any chance again. Fair dues to the boy to goal to score, because the amount of players blue shirts in front of him to score for there. But poor defender. I think the big man will be kicking himself. He's been given an opportunity now to fight for number 1 jersey. I don't think the man will be too happy with that.
So apologies again for the loss of pictures. We're back from Albufeira, and Rangers a goal down. Long from Goldson, chased by Wright, and back to the goalkeeper from Luke O'Neill, and it's flattered for his troubles. And there's a problem here for Scott Wright. A bit of a coming together, I think. O'Neill has been determined to get there first, and equally so Scott Wright. I think it's just a bit of coming together. Let's see it again. Well, he's been taken out actually by O'Neill. Ballard with a header back to the keeper, and O'Neill gets involved, and he probably didn't have to.
I think he was a goal scorer, number 5, wasn't he? For Sunderland.
Yeah, I think it was at that angle of the 6-yard box. Luke O'Neill with the finish. Is he just winded perhaps here, Scott?
I hope so. It was a heavy landing on him. The way he landed on him now, Wright was now face down, so it was quite a heavy clash.
Yeah, just as we talked about how keen he is to make his mark. Fashion Sakala, smiling as ever. Takes acknowledgement from the Rangers fans who are in the stadium tonight. Thumbs up. Which
get for the fuzz, he's fine.
Yeah. Martin Canning, assistant there to Alex Neil, with a word or two for Alex Pritchard, who took the corner. Which ultimately saw Luke O'Neill convert. Sporting handshakes. O'Neill and Wright. O'Neill's 4th season previously with Watford.
Ideal opportunity for a wee water break as well now with the temperatures, but I hope that Wright's okay and can resume the game.
Half time around 15 minutes away. Right, back on after some treatment. Pressure coming from John Lundstrom. Colak tries to hurry the goalkeeper's clearance. Davis with a header, laid off Kent, picked up Arfield. Sunderland had a game last week, so I suspect actually in game time they're a wee bit ahead of us. Tonight being Rangers' first of the programme of pre-season matches.
I think most of the English teams in the lower divisions are a week ahead of what the Scottish team are. This is really, really early for Rangers to take their first game, as I say, but now with the World Cup coming up, I think you need to get as many games as you can under your belt. And the short pre-season you have, there'll not be a lot of fitness work, as you say. Now the boys were ticking over the summer. It'll just be a matter of your new acquisitions, if you get them in and get them embedded in.
It's going to be a strange one, November through to almost Christmas Eve for the World Cup, and a major break in football other than the international World Cup campaign.
And then obviously World Cup, then the amount of games you have to play after that in a short space of time leading up to the new year.
Pritchard intercepts the clearance from McLaughlin, and coming back to get involved is Lundstrom. Knocked away by Tavernier, helped on by Wright. Ballard assured with his pass back to Patterson. And Ballard just 22 in his contract. And this week from Arsenal with a undisclosed fee.
Always good pedigree players from Arsenal.
Yeah.
As you can see, he's actually settled in quite well in that Sunderland team.
Kent tracked all the way by Clyde Hume. Hume just joined them in January from Linfield. £200,000. Ballymena born. Colak just turns his marker illegally, says the next referee.
Yeah, just a wee bit of sense of frustration there now, also with Sunderland putting high pressure on Rangers now to try and get the ball out. But, sometimes it's just an overplay, sometimes if we can just maybe turn them and play the ball over the top for Kent in right space.
Ian Durant joining us this evening on Rangers TV. 1999, a certain Ian Ferguson. His testimonial was the last time Rangers and Sunderland went head to head. I remember that night well. Good interception, Arfield robs Daniel Neal. Colak tries to fire it on the angle for the movement of Ryan Kent. Needs support. Who's looking? Arriving now is Borna Barisic. Again, it's given time for Sunderland to regroup. Davis. Now Goldson. And Tavernier. Needs a penetrating pass, and that one doesn't hit the mark. It's picked off by Corey Evans. And the move is Embleton. Roberts again. Tavernier has travelled from right to left to add extra cover. It's in the air in search of Stewart. And he just shows his aerial ability there. Picked out. He's just ghosting in behind corner. Goldson wins the header. Can't get it down though, Ian.
Yeah, I think Goldson just does enough to put him up. Again, good counter-attack by Sunderland. Rangers now, but a bit wastefulness in terms of the possession at the edge of Sunderland's box, and then Sunderland quick counter-attack.
Colak again getting acquainted with Luke O'Nien, who takes it from Ballard. Oh, he's giving that one away. Here's Kent.
Penalty.
Leaning into him there, certainly a good claim for it. For me, the way he was running in a straight line.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to come inside and pull the trigger on his right foot again, but now the step over, which we've seen so many times. And again, that'll just be lack of match fitness there, Tommy. Again, now the legs, it will take a wee bit of time to get the legs going, but once the sharpness comes, I'd expect Ryan Kent to be doing a lot better. But there's a good opportunity there from a Sunderland mistake.
There's Borna Barisic on the corner. Turns 30 in November. Looking for Goldson. Still not cleared. Goldson again goes chasing. Taking out the play was Pritchard. By the effervescence of Stephen Davis. Davis, like a fine wine. What can you say about him?
You watch some lyrical superlative, and again, I'm delighted for him to get another year. Thoroughly deserved. No matter what age, now to say his age is, thoroughly deserved, and I hope he just makes a great contribution to the team again this year.
137 caps. Incredible.
I don't think he's going to be stopped soon.
150 is probably achievable then. It's an incredible international record. Here's Katic, we wish him well. Certainly the competition for places at the heart of the Rangers' defence. Taverniers giving it away as a chance for Sunderland. Blazed over the top. Embleton will be so disappointed. Again, perhaps overplaying in the wrong area for James Tavernier.
I actually think he gets his foot caught in the ground here. His boot comes off, but again, just a mistake. And again, now, you better make your mistakes early in pre-season, if you know what I mean, in terms of now rather than the games. But just a wee bit of sloppiness creeping in. And Sunderland now, as I said, now they seem to be pressing Rangers really very high, and forcing Rangers into some mistakes.
Embleton off target. Here's one for Colak. Can he open his Rangers account? Brave goalkeeping, but it breaks for Kent. Colak again tries to curl it near post, and it's gathered by goalkeeper Patterson. He just found that pocket of space.
he done well there, and getting the benefit down. I think now, I think he said 2 days of pre-season. I think now, a week to 10 days, I think he'd be on the end of it, and just skidded through to the last moment. The keeper read it well, but again, good awareness and good movement.
22 goals last season from Malmo. Might have been one of our problems last season, Ian, with a good spread of goal scorers. Just didn't have enough that were delivering 20 plus.
Well, that's the norm now. That's what's needed now, Tommy. And considering the amount of games they play, I think it should spread over the team. I think the manager will be looking for midfielders to contribute more goals.
There's Embleton, who got the first goal at Wembley against Wickham in that playoff. Comfortably handled this time by John McLaughlin, but Embleton, as he scored that first goal in the playoff, curls it in. Always difficult for the goalkeeper. It's going away from him, but no one had gambled and put pressure on him.
Yeah, obviously you're looking for something across the front. Once you cross the front, you look for the second man running behind, but again, they're playing in the wrong areas just now at this present moment, and again, it's just down to the first game of pre-season. I know they played Partick Thistle in a bounce game, but this is the first game in front of a crowd. I think they're just trying things which their body are not allowed to do just now in terms of the level of fitness.
Ross Stewart, former Ross County man, swirls it away to the far side where Hume has it. On the move is Patrick Roberts, tracked by Stephen Davis. And Roberts just stays getting in from the wide area. Davis stands his ground and doesn't necessarily agree with the decision to award the corner.
Good defender from Davis there.
Yep.
Yeah, he can now, as we've seen in previous times when he was playing with Celtic, he could be a bit of a handful. And I'm sure you'll see now the Kamara,
Fashion Junior, and Adam Devine.
Adam Devine, who again, his debut at Tynecastle, what a debut the boy had.
Again, so composed in possession. Terrific to see the youngsters involved.
Yeah, well, again, the manager said now if they're good enough, they'll play. So
Timothy Windsor said it.
We're looking forward to Devine and obviously young Mr. Lowry.
Yep. They're not involved tonight, but turning 19 in June. Big season ahead for Alex Lowry.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Half time just 5 minutes away in the Estadio Municipal down with Wales. Just making heavy weather of it. Right coming shot, allowed to spin. Lundstrom. Barisic is making some headway on the flank. Arfield's beyond him, dropping off as Kent. Kent takes over. Spins off Pritchard, but breaks into the path of Stephen Davis. Colak the target.
Good header,
Rangers keep the pressure on. Tavernier. Charles down as he looks to deliver. Sirkin with the interception.
Just never get the ball out his feet quick enough there, but again, good play again. And I think probably the best player in the Rangers team in the first half's been Wright. Again, he started the move, which led to the cross getting blocked.
Rangers look to get back on terms prior to half time. Tavernier on the corner. Making a late run to get involved was Wright, but Sunderland get it away. They have a nudge on Katic there, but the referee lets it go. Picked up Pritchard. Yeah, what was the difference between that coming together and Roberts and Katic?
Somebody must have opened the door there. Must have Gustav Wynn come in there and blew him out.
He's busy, mind you, Pritchard.
Yeah, he's been a handful first half. I think now Sunderland have put a lot into their game plan just now in terms of the level of thing. You can see they're maybe a week ahead, maybe a week 10 days ahead in terms of fitness, but I'm sure once the manager brings the changes, I'm sure now getting game time, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mentioned that Ian Ferguson testimonial in 1999. Previously there was a Gary Bennett testimonial.
Yeah, down at Roker Park, I was down with the squad, but unfortunately I was injured, and myself and Coisty.
Have a good night out.
But we sampled the Sunderland, the Roker hospitality. It was great, and they looked after us, and it was a great night there. A great Rangers support again down at Roker Park. And
Terry Brooks your manager at that
he
time?
was a manager, obviously. I think through Terry's influence, I think he got Rangers, but a fantastic support down that night, and it was now one in the old iconic stadium, Roker Park.
This is good from Rangers. All started with a very clever ball from Niko Katic to release his countryman Borna Barisic, and trying to capitalise again with Ryan Kent. Trying to just get a toehold in the game. Kent, I like the lad. Just runs into the traffic again.
It's like a movement, but again, that's his first nutmeg of the season. That'll get to double figures, don't worry about that.
Daniel Neal for Ross Stewart. He's become a real cult hero at Sunderland, at the Stadium of Light now.
As I said to you, I met a boy waxing lyricals about him. I was winding him up saying he was coming to Rangers, and the colour drained out his body.
29 goals last season.
Fantastic. And for a nominal fee as well down to Sunderland, it just shows you now maybe somebody now thinking Ross County, but they took a gamble on him and it's worked.
Davis for Tavernier, right again, immediately going forward. Tries to link with Colak, and the sliding challenge was on the money. It's certainly a focal point, Antonio Colak. And Roberts again. Angled ball, releasing Pritchard, blocked by Davis, who tracked the run.
Yeah, he matched the run well there, Steve-O. Again, now they're very much counter-attack Sunderland, but when they do break, they break with pace. It's been apart from the wee break we had, it's been a real interesting game in terms of the tempo's been played at. Now they've got stuck into each other and played at a great pace. And as I said, the manager will be delighted in terms of the level of fitness he'll get out of this game.
Hume backs off. Kent teases and torments Arfield. Barisic with the change of pace, and not his preferred shooting boot, but he just tries to steer it goalwards and it's deflected. Spins off Tavernier.
I think he was looking for the pass there, but then all of a sudden it just broke. Well played by Barisic here. Again, another one thought he may have been out the door now. Reputedly a couple of teams interested in him, but it's great he stayed.
Absolutely.
And he's been a fantastic player for Rangers in the last year and a half.
Incredible consistency. One additional minute, we've just started that. Patterson to knock it long. Just 22.
It looks like the other keeper there, Pritchard. Is it Pritchard? Similar building, similar ilk to him.
We're about to hear the half-time whistle. And through half-time, it's the action from the B team at Elgin earlier this week, and a preview of the women's season. Malky Thompson side, champions of Scotland, and preview how they've gone about their pre-season work. For audio, it's only Graham Souness talking about that kick that Ian alluded to of 86, and one of the best goals ever scored at Ibrox. Ray Wilkins and that Old Firm derby in that kick. As the half-time whistle blows in Albufeira, it's Sunderland who got the only goal of the match. Came in 28 minutes through Luke 9 after Rangers should have done better and then gifted Sunderland the corner. Ross Stewart has led the line for Sunderland, not carried much luck. From a Rangers perspective, Scott Arfield has tried to get closer to the debutant striker Antonio Colak. But some work to be done in the second half, and I don't doubt we'll see a raft of substitutes as the heat still around 27 degrees in Portugal. But it's Rangers chasing the game. Sunderland 1, Rangers 0. Ian Durrant will be back for the second half action pretty soon indeed.
No, he just did it.
Goal scorer for Rangers, number 10, Josh McQuaig. Goal scorer for Rangers, number 7, Ross McCausland. Goal scorer for Rangers, number 9, Tony Weston. On behalf of Sophie and Natalia and the organising Really, thank you very much for coming out tonight and showing your support for Super. And thank you all for the sponsors.
Gers!
You set it up then, set it up. Good touch, 1v1.
Welcome back for the second half action from Albufeira. Welcome back to our audio listeners. We hope you enjoy our radio coverage tonight. Leon King going through the warm-up. Terrific half-time updates there. The goals from Elgin as the B team ran out 4-1 victors, and the women's team getting prepared for the Champions League campaign coming up around the corner. In Portugal, it's Rangers chasing the game. Corey Evans, the skipper of the Sunderland side, leads his team out. The goal came in 28 minutes. Rangers didn't defend the corner, and it was popped into the net by Luke O'Nien. The crowd enjoying the sunshine in Portugal. I hope we get factor 30 on. And we just wait Rangers taking the field for the second half. Ian, I know results aren't important, but it's Rangers.
Of course, they carry the massive support. Yeah, but there's a big support watching them tonight, and we know now that no secret pre-seasons about getting your match fitness, but now Rangers don't really play fairly, do they? You can see the way the tempo of the game's been played now. There's a lot of tackles put in, and you can see now Sunderland are up for it, and Rangers now as well are up for it as well. But again, it'll be interesting to see if the manager makes a few changes. Now I know there's a lot of kids on the bench, but now you've got Aribo, you've got Kamara,
yep.
Fashion Junior, Lowry. Now a lot of experience on the bench to try and come on. Sorry, I forgot Aribo's away.
Well, he's certainly not involved this evening.
I think Devine's come on there, and Sakala and Kamara. So he's made three changes. And I think
Colak continues, so he's getting some miles on the clock in the early days of his Rangers career.
It'll be good to see now, obviously, they get to know the players and get as much game time as you can. And I see young Devine maybe come on, I think.
Yep.
So he's made a few changes, and again, good game time, 45 minutes for some of the boys that come on.
Just bring you confirmation of those changes very shortly. Just waiting to get going for the second half. And Kamara, certainly one of the changes. Another player who delivered his best goal scoring season in the campaign just finished with 4. And Fashion Junior, he scored pre-season here. It just seems like yesterday, that goal against Real Madrid at Ibrox a season ago.
Yeah, exactly. And Kamara now coming back in. Now he's had a tough summer now, obviously now international wise, and now he's back in it again. You don't get a lot of time off now that the top players in terms of now the international games, and they're straight back in it again.
It looks as Kent has left the field, and his replacement being Fashion Junior. Adam Devine, who did well at left back when he got his top team debut. He played in the left back after his debut against Dundee United back in May, still 19 years of age. I can tell you there's a bit of a delay again. The Gremlins are out, well, in force this evening because there's a problem with the floodlights. The referee has to make a decision. Will it be light enough to see the game out at the moment? And obviously the goalkeepers are concerned as the sun goes down in Portugal, but the problem right now is the floodlights have failed. Spurs on Rangers' radar, as is Blackpool next Saturday. Spurs the last game, it's the jewel in the crown in the pre-season friendlies. And of course West Ham as well, who did so well, got to the semi-finals of the Europa League. So, you know, today it's just about getting a feel for the game again.
Yeah, some great games coming on. There'll be a massive support down in Blackpool. And your two marquee games at home, which the fans will be looking forward to, and hopefully in between there, there'll be a couple of signings now, West Ham and Tottenham at home. Now, two great teams, and I'm sure there'll be a great turnout for their games as well as Blackpool.
Yeah, the squad looking pretty strong, but the manager himself said yesterday that he would look to add to it before too long. The Rangers fans out in force. Robbie McCrory has come off the bench to replace John McLaughlin. 6 under-21 caps, called up to the full squad again in the summer. And I think back to the 2 games he played last season, Alish Kert in the European arena, and the Old Firm game at Ibrox. 2 starts, 2 clean sheets. This is a young man that you can have confidence in.
Of course, when you say a young man, I think he's maybe 23, 24 now. And the games he played last year, he never let the team down. His 2 saves, particularly here against Celtic, were fantastic saves.
Yeah, he'll be desperate too to make sure that he's part of the squad. The officials continue to debate whether it's light enough to go ahead.
That was nearly 9:15.
It's a late night, isn't it? Of course, it's worse over there. Well, it's not really, because they're an hour ahead of us, but that's the problem, is the fading light.
So you don't get it. You can see there's a wee meeting. The managers have a meeting now, obviously the staff. So there must be a serious problem in terms of if they're going to get it on.
The sun goes down over Albufeira.
Another added distraction, obviously, with the cameras going down in the first half. Now we have this problem.
What continues, though, Ian, at Ibrox in the hospitality suites, the development of the new Edmondson House. The positives are absolutely massive. David Graham, the Rangers PR director, having a word with the locals and the referee.
I think that's obviously it's David and the boy from Sunderland, obviously the referee. But again, it'll be down to see what the players are comfortable with. And as you say, now you touched on the refurbishment of the stadium. Now the new suites, they look as though they're going to be beautiful, and then the pitches coming on a turn as well. And it'll be great. Now I think the fans will be looking forward to the Edmondson club now, what they've got in place and what's going to be finished. I think it'll be a fantastic addition for the fans on match days.
It's Borna Barisic who's made way for Adam Devine, who's slotting at left back. Incidentally, you just talk about Rangers of years gone by and some of the events that were hosted. 32 years ago tomorrow, Ian, Old Blue Eyes himself played Ibrox.
Obviously,
he did it his way.
In my playing time, I was fortunate enough to get my mum a couple of tickets, and she loved it. And she came back. I don't think they'd ever thought now my mum had ever seen Frank Sinatra, so I was fortunate enough to get a couple of tickets, and she come back loving every minute of it. So the Frank Sinatra records were on for the next couple of weeks.
Outstanding.
I think this might be in doubt, Tommy.
I think you're right.
You see at eye level there now. When you're sitting up, you see it looks a different picture. But when you're down at eye level, you see how dark it is. I just hope now, for the sake, there's a lot of fans turned up there, and I just hope for their sake now we get it back on.
Absolutely.
That we'll here to midnight. Let's finish this game.
Giovanni van Bronckhorst looks quite pragmatic in the circumstance.
Is that
Hannah McLean, the admin of the Rangers squad, just doing the calculations as to the expected finishing time. Dave Voss, trusted lieutenant to the manager. He scored, Giovanni van Bronckhorst, against Sunderland in that Ian Ferguson testimonial back in July 19.
Yeah, that was one of his first one of his first games there.
Incidentally, one for the record, it was the first game ever covered on the internet on Scottish football. Again, Rangers at the vanguard of development and broadcasting at that time. Audio only, as was. Just have a penalty shootout. That worked for you?
They're going to have to come up with something now, obviously, with the time. And I think now there's a lot of shaking of heads, but now not the way the shaking of heads you want. Now they seem to be saying no rather than yes.
The biggest frustration here is they've had a plan on who would play first half, who would play second half.
Of course,
and that's just gone, it's in tatters.
Yeah, before the game, the manager put up now, some players will play 45, some will play 60, and then some 70, and then you maybe get the added addition of getting some of the young boys. But I think it's been with some of the body language doesn't look good in terms of what's going over to the bench. But again, they'll have their strategy in terms of who's going to play the level of time.
And there's also the potential for injury in the circumstance.
Yeah, well, again, that's nearly that'll be nearly half an hour now since the conclusion of half time. But we'll find out sooner or later. But it's a shame now. The young boys now, obviously, McCrory and young Devine now getting a wee opportunity to play in front of a crowd again. It's a shame for them if they miss out on this.
Corey Evans, the well-decorated skipper of Sunderland, will be 30 at the end of the month. 69 caps for Northern Ireland. Started at Manchester United. Remains uncertain whether we'll get a second half or not. And apologies for that. It's totally out with our hands when the floodlights have failed. 1-0 in favour of Sunderland. The goal coming in 28 minutes. 9 converting. Scored 4 goals last season. The Sunderland fans have found their voice. They were once known as the Bank of England club, going back to the 60s, because they paid top dollar in salaries and transfer fees at that time. They were managed, of course.
They came and got a few Scottish players, didn't they?
Ian McCall, the former Rangers stalwart half-back in those days, Scottish international manager as well, was their manager. Jim Baxter was signed. Ralph Brand also.
Ralph got down there?
Yeah, he was down there as well. Yeah. And of course Jim Baxter came back after a short spell at Nottingham Forest and made his debut against Tottenham. And again, it's Tottenham coming up in a couple of weeks' time. That's it. Get your phones with the torches on. They're still smiling from a Rangers perspective, of course.
You can't eat any better. You're on holiday and you're getting a chance to watch the Glasgow Rangers now. It's a perfect holiday.
I spoke to some people who are resident in the south of Spain. They were driving up just to see Rangers.
That'd be great, all over. And now you see when I know boys that will just turn up to see that now the groundsman put the nets up now. They're passionate about it. Now wherever Rangers are playing, if it's an open door game and Rangers fans are there in abundance, just go for a sec. That'll be an early night in Albufeira, and the pubs will make a few.
Karaoke will be giving it large.
Oh, down the strip.
That's the one.
That's massive for karaoke there.
It's certainly getting darker, and this game has to be in jeopardy.
When you see it at ground level, you see how dark it is. But now, when you see the camera from above where the stand is, now it doesn't look as dark. But I think they're going to have to come up with something soon.
Yeah, decisions need to be made.
Yeah.
Rangers will return from Portugal on Monday, and again the intensity of training will be stepped up. Of course, it's Blackpool next Saturday down there for the Glasgow Fair. Glasgow Fair, Rangers in Blackpool of Bloomfield Road. Incredible.
Great. And again, as I said, now they'll be filling their thousands down there now. The Gallant Pioneer Club, that'll be welcoming everybody, and I'm sure now that'll be a good turn. But again, it's a great game now. Obviously, we see now the top of the Glasgow Fair and how many Blue Noses will be down in Blackpool. Then you've got the two big games coming up, and then you're right bang at it. Looking forward to the West Ham and Tottenham games. I think it'll be great. And good test now. We see now the way Tottenham they're at now, what they've brought in, and it'll be a great game at Ibrox, and I'm sure it'll be a full house.
Different level again, and then the league campaign starts with the trip to Livingston. Never easy there either, Ian, on that surface.
But the last couple of games have handled it really well. I know there's a big furore about the pitch, but you've just got to get on with it. As I said now, you just hopefully it weighs itself out and the good players turn up. If the good players turn up, then you've always got a chance of winning games. As I said, the last two times I've been at Livingston, it's not been a problem. Rangers have played very well.
You're missing nothing by way of the action. The debates continue whether the game can actually go ahead. There's undoubtedly, it's been such an extended day light-wise, but when it gets dark it happens very quickly.
Of course it does, and you were spotting me, you said a minute ago, now the players not having a sufficient warm-up, you do run a risk of injury, and I'm sure now they'll be looking at that. But the longer it goes now, I think now, it's the fans you feel sorry for now, because now you've got to look after the fans as well. The players now can do their own thing, but the fans are sitting about waiting for the game to be started.
It's the Estadio Municipal de Albufera, and it's a bit of a guessing game. We'll get second half action. No one's leaving their seat as things stand inside the stadium. They all want the game to continue. It's finally balanced with Sunderland a goal to the good. As soon as we get some news from Portugal, we'll bring you right up to date, of course. But at the moment, a decision has to be made, and it's not going to improve unless they have the ability to have the lights repaired very quickly.
Yeah, I think they were looking at, obviously, not being a technician, but they'll be looking at now, hopefully they've got a backup generator which can and maybe even get some light into maybe a couple of the floodlights to maybe get a bit of light into it. As I said, now that'll be
way beyond time.
Half past now. As I said, now it's the players I feel sorry for, because they will have to do another warm up to make sure there's no chance of injury.
And no chance to reschedule either. Just full programme ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Because they'll have the programme in place, what they're going to be doing for pre-season. I think now the manager's quite methodical in his plans, so they'll have their own plans of what they're doing. Tomorrow will be a training day, or maybe a recovery, and then before you're back to flight. So they'll have their programme all mapped out.
I think the Rangers fans certainly making their presence felt.
Yeah, no, of course. As I said, that's the ones you feel sorry for now. Again.
Well, not involved tonight, Ryan Jack for the Morelist, John Souttar, Philippe Hollander, James Sands, Alex Lowry, Kamara Roof.
Well, there's a few players battling back from injury, and hopefully now they'll get their added time. They'll, as I said, they'll come back Monday and have a full week of training, try and get players fit for the games coming up. But there's no rush to get the players and rush them for the Blackpool game, because you have West Ham and Tottenham after that, which will now be adequate in terms of fitness for the boys coming back.
My understanding is the update from Portugal that the electricians are working furiously to restore the power to the floodlights, and if they're unsuccessful within a period of 10 minutes, unfortunately the game will be abandoned. So we'll get 10 minutes from now to see if they can get us up and running. Totally out with our hands. I'll leave you with the pictures from Albufeira for a moment.
why you... Well, it's a fucking straight. Next to the game. Lights finished. Now what am I meant to do? Oh. Obviously, jokes aside. Fucking hell, considering. Obviously, we've come out all together. I'm not a horrendous time for all the lads have come out. It's a long way to go for a life failure, and not half an hour. It's a long way to go for a life failure. Can you do it? Live neutral earth. Live neutral earth. It's a long way to go. Obviously, fucking I one person that wouldn't stop that. That's Martin O'Neill. I'll not be coming back ever. Am I on telly? Was I on telly there? Was I on telly? Premier Sport. Is it Eurosport?
It's right this side.
Oh, and Amanda Stanley, Melton and Son. Is that alright? Will that make the air?
Take two.
He is a Jordan Nance. I mean, you can't complain with the boy when he is a Jordan Nance. I mean, it says on the sticker. Johnny, show me the sticker. I mean, it's there, man. Though, you know. I mean, you can't complain with that. He is a Jordan Nance, so you know. I mean, not my fault. It's not his fault. It's not my fault. It's just his own fault. It's not offended Jordan Nance.
20 pizzas. It's been planted before.
Well, Ian Durant, the best laid plans of mice and men. Match abandoned in Albufeira. I have a solution. Rangers and Sunderland should get together again and play it at the Stadium of Light. It's the only way forward. Sadly, a floodlight failure has brought an early conclusion to tonight's pre-season friendly in Albufeira between Rangers and Sunderland. Not ideal, Ian, when you've mapped out a pre-season programme.
Seasons, they've come out all the way to Portugal for training camp and to get a game against another top side, but only lasting 45 minutes. So a real shame for those in attendance, for those watching on TV, for the players who are desperate to get up to speed. But seasons, they've come out all the way to Portugal for, I'm afraid, training camp, and the scoreline finishes get a game 1-0 to Sunderland against Rangers. Another top side match, but only lasting officially 45 minutes. So floodlight failure. So we thank you for your time in taking those in attendance, for those watching on TV, for the players went out, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
This was a real test, pushing EE full 5.